What's going on, YouTube? I'm still up here near the airport, so you'll have to excuse the noise of planes taking off and landing. But I felt compelled to make a response or a reply video, if you will, to the re-upload of content that I recently showed you guys of this video that has been going viral for several days now, of this somewhat attractive dark-skinned black female stating that she prefers to date black men and that her preference is black men and that she only dates black men. Let me say at the offstart that I find it really tragic and sad. Even though myself personally, I've moved off the thought process that black love exists, the same way most black men have moved off the thought process that chivalry is still alive. But I find it tragically pathetic that we are in an environment where a black woman making a video proclaiming her love and loyalty to specifically her own race of man is so rare and so unusual that it actually raises eyebrows. You know, I once had a swirling black female say on one of my videos, and this was many moons ago, before you guys knew me as Brian Solange. I had made a video, and this was back when I was in simp mode. I had made a video praising black celebrity couples and, promoting, this black love myth that all of us who, are intelligent enough to realize that there is no such thing anymore actually still existed. And this swirler went on to compliment me actually on my video by stating that, well, she dates interracially, but she loves to see black people in relationships because it's daring and it's unorthodox. And when I heard that, at the time, I was so stunned, I literally wanted to reach through the computer screen and slap the taste out of whoever this anonymous swirler mouth was. Because just the notion that black people being together is rare really shows you where the mind state of this person actually is. The truth of the matter is, most black people are together physically. Okay? Most black people fuck other black people, have babies with other black people, have black people in their families, etc., etc. It is not so much the physical question that is the issue. It is the mental, the psychological question. Where is the majority of black America's head? It certainly isn't in the range of unity amongst other black people. As a matter of fact, most black people, any chance they get, try to screw their fellow African American. And I don't mean that literally. Trying to get one over, trying to compete, trying to show that they're better. Being unnecessarily harsh towards one another. Of course, we see that on the streets every day. But also, there's a non-criminalistic component to this as well, such as the mind games that the Black American female has been playing for the last half a decade or so with this, as I put in the title of the last video, get you a white man routine that they were fronting with. Now, to the average brother, for lack of a more wanting term, and I'm pretty sure if I were to scroll down the comments of the video of the content creator that made this video, I'm sure that I would see a litany of thirsty ass black males. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. She is an attractive, as y'all like to call, sister. She is an attractive black female. Some of y'all had made some comments in the last video about, some of her physical attributes, even though it didn't go below the waistline. I'm not going to say by any stretch of the imagination that she's ugly. And one thing that I wish black men would get out of is trying to demean the black female by saying, oh, 80% of them are overweight. Negro, 80% of y'all are overweight. So shut the fuck up. That's not, you don't see, here's my thing. When you get on the level of not give a fuck, as men like me and some men in the MGTOW movement claim to be, you don't have to, demean a female based on her physical appearance to not give a shit about them. Okay? There are many a female that I've seen, many a black female that I've seen that are highly attractive, in my opinion, such as the model seen in this image, that I wouldn't even look at twice if I saw on the street. And it has absolutely nothing to do with her being overweight or ugly or, unhealthy. It has everything to do with her mentality. David Carroll told y'all a couple of years ago that the more attractive they are, the more physical attributes that they have, like a lot of these Instagram models, as they like to call themselves, the more attractive they are, the lower their self-esteem. Okay? They don't have to be fat or overweight. I mean, let's be realistic. There are plenty of black females out there that are highly attractive. They're slim, they have an athletic build, Now, there are a lot of overweight, precious type black females as well. But you don't see that every day you go out the house, okay? So please just stop. And in all fairness, a lot of you Negroes that call yourself dating outside your race are a bit hypocritical if you want to talk about black females being overweight. Because, look at the majority of what a lot of black men that find themselves with white women wind up with, for crying out loud, okay? So my point is, a black female, just like any female, does not have to be downgraded physically in my mindset, in my mentality, or in my claims for me to know to stay away from that individual female, or just females like her out of that group, or in general. It is the mentality of these females that makes me and other brothers that are smart like me say, to hell with that. I'm not even going to try it. I'm not even going to taste it. I'm not even going to touch it. Not even once. Not even have a second thought cross my mind. I mean, unless she is literally just throwing herself on top of me. And let's face it, for most of us guys, that won't happen. And nowadays, as y'all may have noticed, tisk tisk, that's not really something that men of power and influence that can actually get females at regular would really want anyway. Hence the he raped me epidemic that's going on. But anyway, the point is, black women do not have to be ugly or fat or overweight for me to think they're not worth my time. They're not even worth my time going up to, asking for her number, I flirting with her, nothing. It's the mentality that gives them away. The attitude that they have as soon as they see a brother. And I'm not talking about these street Negroes. I'm talking about, those of us who have 9-to-5s, those of us who run our own business operations, such as myself, those type of brothers. Okay? She does not, the one thing I've learned, both personally and from experience, is that your average, everyday run-of-the-mill black female, whether she's educated or not, whether she's attractive or not, she does not want a black male. Now, she don't have no problem with other men being like this, like white men. As Eve said, he tamed me. They will bow down and lick the soles of the shoes that non-black men that have this mentality. But they do not want a black man to be in a status and play a role that is above them, even though by nature that is the role of the man, to lead the woman, to be a leader, okay, to be the head of the household. So it is because of this realization that I and so many other brothers avoid a majority of black females, and more recently we've evolved into understanding, or we've tried to evolve our commentary into helping you guys understand that it is not just the black female, but it's really this entire feminist movement in general that has a majority of females believing that they should get something simply because they have a vagina between the legs and long hair. Of course, we mean those who don't wear weave over their nappy natural hair. It is ironically from this understanding that I can tell you that I am about 95% sure, and this may surprise some of y'all who haven't been paying attention, that the female in that video that I showed y'all is lying through her teeth, being manipulative, and catering to what is convenient to her at the time. Now, this is something that black women are notorious for doing. And all of us brothers have, seen, and some of us have had the misfortune of experiencing this happen to us. Your average everyday run-of-the-mill black female will tell you anything that she thinks will persuade you to do something that benefits her, either needs or wants. So a lot of you may ask, well, where are you going with this? What do you mean exactly? There's still, the swirl movement's still going on. There's still black females, trying to swirl, talking about, get a white man, date outside your race and everything. Well, let me take you guys back to about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, when Cynthia G first came out. As I stated before, I was one of the first black male YouTubers to release a video trying to alert people to this fraud, which she is, let's face it. And it doesn't just have anything to do with her doll hair, but I knew she was a fraud. Just, Seattle, the voice, the look, everything spelled fraud about her. And then what gave it away were the pictures of her in her early college days, freshman through senior year, partying at parties, posing with white girls and other members of her family with white men. And I tried to warn people. And that video, you know, it really didn't, it didn't get any fanfare of significance. You know, it got a couple thousand views. That was back when I had my original Brian Too Bad TV Solange channel. But it wasn't until well in excess of a year later, took a full year, for people to finally, for a significant amount, because you do still have some dumb Negroes that still worship this woman like she's the second coming of Christ. But there were some Negroes that got awoken when somebody went and fetched a picture of her posing in a photo with nothing but white people and a white man with his hand around her waist. And now all of a sudden, you know, the lights come up like, you know, in a attempted prison escape, and, you know, the red alert button is sounded, and ooga, alarm bells start going off all over the place. Oh my God, Cynthia G's a phony. She's been lying all this time. Yeah, no shit. No shit. No shit. All you have to do is look at that woman and listen to her to know that she's a fraud. She's either a butthurt ex-swirler. She is a butthurt ex-swirler. And she might have gotten her feelings because some black man, because I can tell you right now, she don't mess with, you know, just a regular 9-to-5 guy. She sure as hell don't mess with, you know, these dysfunctional ass Negroes out here. But there was some black guy, it could have been some black guy that, you know, she was attracted to, and seemed like, you know, he was about his business and probably highly educated or running his own business. And she saw him, or she tried to date him, and found out that, you know, he was with a white woman or a non-black woman, and she got in her feelings. That combined with whatever N-word wake-up call she got, you know, when she was worshiping the private parts of white men, caused her to turn into the nemesis against white people, at least verbally, that she has become today. See, the one thing we know about black women, and really women in general, is that they're conniving and they're vindictive. So how does that tie into this latest black female that's trying to, I don't know what she calls herself trying to do, trying to pretend like she's pro-black? Well, it should be obvious. She's basically running the same game. I mean, I can tell you for a matter of fact, she's running the same game. And there will be many black people, male and female, but primarily males, because, you know, the simp, the first thing he's going to look at is how attractive she is. And again, she is a good-looking sister. By no stretch of the imagination is she unattractive, you know. But that's the first thing a dude gonna look at, just like in the Cynthia G case. And then he's gonna think to himself, oh, wow, an attractive sister saying that she only wants us. And that's what y'all gonna think. That's what y'all gonna think. That's why I titled that video the way it was, the way I titled it, to see how many Negroes would take the bait. I bet a lot of people didn't even pay attention to the part that I put in the description box, you know, questioning the validity of this female's claim. Although I will say that I am pleased to note that a majority of you brothers that watch my channel, you passed the test. You didn't take the bait. I saw and that was proven in the comments that you guys left. Now, I'm just going to provide a little bit of I guess, Paul Revere, British are coming forewarning about this female in this video. The first thing I'm going to tell you is this chick who goes by the screen name Paris Milan, which is atypical of well, actually F-typical of black females. They always select some type of name that's of a different country or cultural origin than that of their own. Very rarely do you hear of a black female naming herself or her children Egypt or Africa or Kenya or something like that. I mean, there are a few Kenyas out there, but mostly you hear Paris or, you know, China or India or anything that you know takes them away from the thought process that they are a Negro. And this, you know, falls back into the basis of what we talk about when we talk about how the black American female hates herself. Now, I can tell you for a fact that this female being, you know, relatively attractive, her and you know what she's talking about, you know, the basis of what she's addressing, her channel is going to blow up. Her channel is probably going to be on Cynthia G level inside of the next 6 months. Probably won't even take that long. You remember, and I think she's going to probably get more subscribers of these simp-ass Negroes and fake Pan-African pro-blacks, which will be the primary, the largest amount of people who subscribe to her channel, because she appears to be more naturally attractive than Cynthia G, who, you know, goes well out of her way to doll herself up in every video. Okay, and Cynthia G is actually an attractive woman without all that makeup, but you can tell that woman has a mental problem. But of course, as we've already gone over, that's most black women. So anyway, that's the first thing that you guys need to know. The simps and the pro-black idiots are going to be worshiping the ground that this female walks on. Okay. Second thing that I want to point out is why this black female like, well, I'm going to save that because, like I said, there's a major project I'm working on. But the one thing that I've learned with black people is that it's very, very easy for other people, whether they be black, white, or anything in between, to pull the okie doke on the majority of you Negroes. Okay? Now, while this chick is, you know, preaching, talking about, you know, she only wants black men and this, that, and the other, I noticed that there was another video that she made not too long before that, that was listed called "Why Black Women Date White Men." And if you listen to it, it's the typical, you know, crap that these swirlers mention when they state all the BS baloney about why they're going after white men, why they're deifying white men, you know, and they're pretending like, you know, black men are taking too long to wife them up, so they're going, you know, exploring their options. This same black female actually stated this point. She actually put this up there, like within a couple of weeks after she put the video up about why she doesn't date black men. And while she claimed in that video that she prefers to see black people together, you could clearly tell that she had, or she has a disdain for the very same black men that she claimed in a later video to prefer over white men. Okay? Because she's basically regurgitating the same crapola that the likes of Swirl Nation regurgitate around and around in circles. You know, the same phony statistics, the same phony claims. Okay, because, you know, there's not a large amount of black men, you know, eligible black men. When the funny thing is, there's not a large amount of eligible black women either. I mean, there's as many hood rats as there are hood thugs. I mean, let's be realistic about this, okay? Most of these females that are, you know, having these illegitimate children are ain't-ish individuals, for lack of a more wanting term. But they want to pretend like it's just black men. But anyway, I watched that video all the way through, just like I watched the video that I re-uploaded. And I quickly realized, and then, she goes on to call Tommy Sotomayor, a coon in that video, why black women, prefer to date white men. And I clearly saw that this chick is hiding something. She's hiding something, but at the same time, she's either retaliating for something or she's trying to capitalize off of something. So the one thing I know about chicks like this, having been around them my whole life and, seeing what's been going on online, is that they don't do things without a purpose, without a goal, without some type of hidden agenda, much like the white liberal. See, when you just take a step back and you don't, look at the physical appearance of the person, but you carefully listen to what they're saying, but you don't internalize it. You take a step back and you look at everything around what they're saying. Because remember, Benjamin Franklin, a white man, said, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. So if we're to believe none of what we hear and half of what we see, let's take a look. Now, this same black female talking about she prefers black men. Number one, what would be the purpose of a black woman saying that she prefers to date inside her race and she only wants black men, when 90 to 95% of black women, date exclusively black men? Okay. What would be her purpose? This, I only date such and such man is exclusive to mind warped black females that try to use that, as a parrot that they parrot that to try to get inside the heads of black men, because they somehow think that affects us, when most of us really truly don't give a damn. Okay. That's the number one thing you got to ask yourself. The second thing you got to ask yourself is, looking at this female. Now, yes, she's very attractive, but she's showing telltale signs of being an insecure, low self-esteem individual. She's wearing, in some videos you see her, sometimes she just has the bright lip gloss, but in other videos, she has, the typical weave on, and she also has this sparkling blue lipstick on. Now, y'all remember there was a young black lady who committed suicide. I forget her name. I think her first name was Catherine or something. And she created this this movement, something in relation to black girls and red lipstick. And, she emphasized that for some reason. I don't know what point she was trying to get across. I guess that black women are beautiful and they're pretty in red lipstick, when really, you don't need red lipstick to be pretty or ugly, but that was beside the point. But I think her name was Katherine Johnson. She committed suicide, which means that she didn't believe the stuff that she was saying herself. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been so depressed that she murdered herself. Okay? So with this chick, you notice that she goes out of her way, even though naturally she is quite attractive. She goes out of her way to, put makeup on, even though it really doesn't complement her skin tone. And that is a telltale sign. That, along with the weave and the, the eyeliner and the fake eyelashes, is a telltale sign of a female that has low self-esteem. To be quite honest with you, now that I think about it, I don't know what this female looks like underneath all this. However, she's not going as far out of her way to do it as, like, say, the likes of Cynthia G. So it's fair to note that she has a low bit of self-esteem. The other thing that I noticed, and this is really a eyebrow raiser, is I go to this girl's channel and I see that her channel has been open since 2014. So this is a channel that has been available and online for 3 years. Now, for those of you who remember, 2013, 2014, and 2015 were the climax of this whole, swirl bandwagon epidemic and trend that was going on. I mean, it was everywhere, to the point where every other black female was talking about how she wanted to taste white penis. Okay? Those were the peak years of this. Since then, it's still been going on. It's still happening. But as you've noticed, as with her video about why she only dates black guys, it's been kind of dwindling down. Okay? And I personally would like to think that that's in part contribution because a lot of us black men have been creating content showing, where there have been instances of abuse by white men to their white girlfriends and wives, up to and including murder. And you know that if it's been happening to the point where it makes headlines, where we can take this and show it as proof and evidence of the hypocrisy and the contradiction of these black women who say that white men are the better option, then you know it's probably happening on a much larger scale behind closed doors. Which leads me to my next point. Her channel's been available since 2014, but you look and you immediately notice that she only has videos on this channel for the last 2 months. Which means either she just started using this channel, but given that, she claims that it's a makeup tutorial channel, that's highly unlikely. Or she has some videos hidden or outright deleted that she doesn't want you to see. So anyone, right now, as I'm looking, she only has 1,850 subscribers. But I'm betting that a majority of those subscribers only came within the last couple of months or so, since she started, doing the fist up in the air, I'm black and I'm proud routine, with these videos. I'm betting that there are several videos that she's either hidden, made private, or deleted that we don't see, that show something completely to the contrary over the last 3 years that she's had this channel. And the reason why she's hiding those videos is because it will expose her as what she is: a double agent bed wench. As I told y'all in the description box, which is what I strongly suspect this female is. She even admitted in that video about why she prefers to date only black men, that she had actually exchanged phone numbers with white men. So there was a time when she was interested in white men. So you have to really listen, and then you have to read in between the lines, and then you have to step back and you have to take a look at several different things. Why would this chick only have videos up to 2 months ago in her video list when her channel's been up since 2014? Why, if she's so confident in herself, is she wearing weave? Okay, we can let the weave go. Okay, even if we let that go, why, if she's so proud to be black and she's so anti, white fetish of her, why is she wearing sparkling blue lipstick, fake eyelashes, and fake eyebrow liner, on top of the makeup that I know is slightly changing her skin tone? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. You have to use logic again. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. Then there's the aspect of what we know has actually been going on based on things that have been slipping out. The Madison Amelia case, the Jacqueline Fitzpatrick case in Denver, the case of the half-breed black female down in Florida that got murked by her half white, half Latino boyfriend when she started stalking him, trying to get back with her. He just got tired of her and just murked her. And several other cases of white men that have been, not just accused of, but charged with abusing or murdering black women outright. Both black women that they were screwing in relationships with, and just random black women out on the street. Again, some redneck guy just walked up and straight decked Jacqueline Fitzgerald in Denver. Y'all remember I made a video about that last year. So I said earlier that if this is happening, where it's slipping through the cracks, and then, you had the Veganator thing where he manipulated Crystal and Kerosene quite easily and had her bawling in tears. And not only did it once, but did it twice. And I tried to warn you fools, but y'all all want to jump on the bandwagon and, oh, he's swirling now. I tried to warn y'all ahead of time the game he was running, but y'all didn't want to listen. Then next thing you know, he's making another video cussing her out, calling her the B word and all of that. Because he wanted revenge for what he felt was her followers, flagging his videos down back when I had done that Google Hangout with him. So you pair all of this together and you have to understand that, okay, if, things like Madison Amelia, Jacqueline Fitzgerald, Veganator, if stuff like that's happening out in the open, then the one thing we know is that anything that we see in the open is happening, 3, 4, 5 times fold behind closed doors. So if there are women, if there's stories that are slipping through the cracks where we can actually see white men verbally and physically abusing black women, out in the open, how much of that is actually going on with these black women that are worshiping white men and deifying whiteness behind closed doors? And so then that brings you right around to where we are now with the likes of Cynthia G and Paris Milan. I can tell you this woman is either vindictive. She either has a vindictive motive or she has a conniving motive. If it's conniving, then what she's doing is she's reading the current environment that's going on YouTube, and she's looking for a way to capitalize off of it. No one was paying attention to her because, remember, she claims in her own About Me section of her YouTube that the purpose of her channel is, to teach women how to do makeup. It's a makeup tutorial, a makeup and beauty tutorial. And there's lots of black women that have makeup and beauty tip tutorials. As a matter of fact, those are the most popular black female pages that dwarf the likes of Cynthia G and Crystal and Kerosene. Because, of course, we know these females, they have a lot of self-hatred and they want to make themselves up to look like anything other than what God made them. But anyway, that's a subject for another video. So why would she transition from, talking about makeup tutorials to making all these political statements as they pertain to the black community, and now she's claiming to be pro-black? Either because as black women love to tell black men all the time, some white man must have hurt her, or she's looking to capitalize off of pulling the Cynthia G routine and pretending to be pro-black, while at the same time knowing full well what her history has been. Okay? Which also goes back to why I'm pretty sure that she's deleted or made private, even though I've only been made aware of her channel within the last couple of days. I'm pretty sure that she's privatized or straight out deleted some of her videos. Within those videos, yeah, they're makeup tutorials. They probably hardly got any views. But then I'm betting that during the peak season when she actually opened this channel of 2014, it would not surprise me if we could view some of the videos that she's made, that there was a time when she was actually openly worshiping white men. It wouldn't surprise me. Just like that photo surfaced of Cynthia G, several photos surfaced of Cynthia G with white people, as I showed y'all and another person showed y'all. I'm sure There are videos out there, or that she had out there, worshiping and deifying white men. But then something happened that gave her her N-word wake-up call, or that she felt, well, nobody's paying attention to me, so I'm going to switch up. That's another thing that black females are very good for. They're very well known for. Switching up when it's most convenient for them to do so. Again, they're very conniving and they're very vindictive. You can't trust anything that comes out of their mouth. I know this firsthand from personal experience. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you brothers do too. They will say anything that they feel will get them out of a jam. They will say and do anything that they feel will, manipulate someone into getting them what they want or what they need. That's why you have so many of these Instagram models on here pretending like they're, the gold bar. But then when you look, the female's living in some dirty apartment, with her mama or some thug, but she's trying to get her PayPal blown up with money donations of men that want to hit that. So she has to come off as some sexual goddess when she's anything but, on any type of royal level. They're very good. Black women are very good at creating false perception of themselves, both physically and verbally. Remember Most Educated? Remember that lie that was exposed by me and several other people? They're very good at creating false perceptions, both to make themselves look good and to get what they want. They will do and say what they feel is most convenient for them at the time. So I said all of that to say this, brothers. Do not for 1 second, and I know this, we're going to hear more of this Paris Milan chick, but do not for 1 second believe anything that comes out of this female's mouth. I'm forewarning you. Now, a lot of y'all seem to get it, but I know, just from comments in the past, I know that there's some dudes, they going to fall for the honey trap. Oh, she's attractive, and like Cynthia G, not only is she attractive, but, she's proclaiming her love for the black man and she's pro-black. Look, Aquazi tried to warn y'all all the way back in 2015. A lot of these pro-blacks, and I said the same thing, but in a different way. They're ex-swirlers and retired ghetto gaggers. Okay? That they either got their N-word wake-up call, or they went on the other side, found out it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. And so now all of a sudden they want to come skipping back across the color line. Kerry Washington, ring any bells? All that worshiping of white men online and offline. Then she gets closer to 40 than 50, realizes that her acting career, ain't going to have, much going on once she gets to a point where she's no longer a spring chicken. So she going to need something to fall back on. And she marries a black guy who's an ex-NFL player and a successful millionaire businessman. Because she knows that the black man is far less likely, especially a black man from Africa, like Nnamdi Asomugha. A black man is far less likely to, that has a marriage mindset. He's far less likely to abandon her ass when he get tired of, hitting that and, getting through with his fetish than a white man will. Because you got to remember, at one time, Kerry Washington was engaged to a white man. I think he was a television producer or something. And he decided he didn't want to marry her. But see, Kerry Washington got smart. And I'm telling y'all right now, she even admitted to it, that she's messed around with white men before. She said it indirectly, but she said it. You got to read in between the lines with this Paris Milan chick. Don't let your penis get ahead of your brain. Now, there are going to be a lot of dumb Negroes out there. I guarantee you, if you scroll through the comments, you're going to see it. Oh, you a true sister. You such a beautiful sister. I want to give you a foot rub. I want to give you a back rub. We need more sisters like you out there against the evil white man. Blah, blah, blah. Aquazi told y'all. 9 times out of 10, a majority of these pro-black females have at some point tasted the juices of a white man's shaft. and that's putting it lightly. So yeah, y'all have been forewarned. Don't take the bait. Talk to you later, guys.